You're at your first Aussie sports match. The crowd is shouting, the players are yelling, and you're trying your best to understand, but it all sounds so weird. Hi, I'm Dr. Howie Manns. I study language and how people use it. After I moved to Australia, I fell in love with AFL football. When I went to games, I was shocked at the way Aussies talk about sports, on and off the field. They aren't very polite about it at all. As I learned about it, I found more ways to join in on the fun. When talking about sport, Aussies aren't polite. It's as much a part of sport here as the ball or uniforms. Let's start with cricket. In 1877, Australia and Britain played what is considered to be the first Test series. The Australian team shocked the British by playing to a draw. A few years later, Australia won the third Test. There were clearly some tensions going into the next match where a controversial umpiring decision led to the Australian crowd running angrily onto the pitch. One British cricketer responded by calling them sons of convicts. These incidents show two things about Australian sports. First, we take great pride in being the underdog, someone who's expected to lose in a sports competition. And second, we sometimes develop a bad reputation. While this reputation may or may not be fair, Australia is responsible for a key term in cricket, sledging. Sledging is a kind of on-field verbal teasing where you try to break your opponent's concentration. The practice has been around for a long time, but the word sledging is an Aussie invention from the 1960s or 70s. The word comes from sledgehammer or from the phrase subtle as a sledgehammer. The famous Aussie cricketer Shane Warne, also called Warnie, was famous for sledging. He said that it was important to choose the right moment and also that a sledge isn't always meant to be harsh. Sledging is considered both friendly sportsmanship, but is also sometimes quite mean and confronting. I'm admittedly an AFL fan, go doggies, so I tend to be more familiar with footy words. We've been calling Australian rules football Aussie rules since World War I. In fact, we began saying it not long after we first started shortening Australian to Aussie. It's just, well, so Aussie. Many of our footy terms are descriptive. The phrase, give 'em the don't argue, is when a player with a ball puts out his hand and pushes away another player. Whereas pretending to hold the ball out and then yanking it away is selling the candy. A game or a great throw or kick might be called a blinder, in the sense that it was so good it made you unable to see. Stephen Bradbury is famous because he was a massive underdog who stayed on his feet and won a gold medal nobody expected him to. A good moment in a game will have us screaming, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. We've been yelling this at least since the 1990s, and by some accounts, it took on a special significance during the 2000 Sydney Olympics when Australians had a home field advantage to show off their chants as well as their sporting prowess. The term underdog isn't Australian. It can be traced to the mid-19th century where it referred to the losing dog of a dogfight. Our sports stars know we love an underdog, so you can often hear them downplaying their accomplishments in interviews. When we want to play a game but not take it too seriously, we might have a bit of a hit or a bit of a knock. A recent study showed that a bit of is an expression with a particular relevance to Australians for showing that they're being casual, self-deprecating, and having a laugh. Sports language is important to Aussies, showing up in our comedy, our everyday language, and the workplace. Cricket looms quite large in our daily lives. Some refer to opening a meeting as opening the batting. Aussie rules also contributed its fair share of words to our daily language. Shirt front, an aggressive front bump on the shirt, became part of diplomatic speak when former Prime Minister Tony Abbott said he would do it to Vladimir Putin. And we all occasionally handball tasks in the office or pass it off to someone else. You'll hear slang and sledging everywhere from the footy field to the boardroom. Sport in Australia isn't just about playing, it's about connecting. We connect by joking on the field, cheering in the stands, and even arguing about the game at the pub. The way Aussies talk about sports makes us feel like a team, on and off the field. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Like any language, Aussie English keeps changing. New words appear, old words fade. That history shows how Aussie culture has changed over time. And when we understand the past, we feel more at home here. So stay curious about Aussie English, because sometimes those weird words might just open the door to a wonderful life here.